Thank you for joining us today on the Big Blue Podcast. I'm Greg Stone, Metro Campus Provost, here as always with my co-host and our President, Dr. Leigh Goodson. How are you, President Goodson?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, Dr. Stone?
I'm really well, and we are here today with two really important guests who have a lot of important things to share with us about our upcoming HLC assurance argument and accreditation site visit, and that is Lisa Gerow, who's Associate Professor of Nursing, and Paula Setton, who is our Dean of Libraries and Knowledge Management, and they are two of the employees who have been critical to getting us ready for this upcoming site visit. So first of all, thanks to the two of you and to all the people who have worked really hard. I know John Schweinberg has been involved, and a number of, I shouldn't have even started because now the list is just too long for people who have already been contributing to this work. But
it's a slippery slope, isn't it, Greg?
It is very slippery.
Including you.
Yeah. I was involved in that a couple of years ago myself, so it's been a big project that's been a few years in the making, but we're getting close to the big visit later this summer, so thanks to both of you for taking some time to kind of walk us through where we're at with this process and what's coming up and what employees can expect as we get ready to submit the assurance argument. So for people who may not know, what is the assurance argument, and how is it going in terms of preparation to be submitted before our accreditation site visit, which is at the end of September?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin David, my friend and colleague, will be disappointed that I don't have the dates memorized in my head, but I'll get them, I promise.
It's Dr. Cindy Hess's birthday.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's her birthday gift.
Multiple events that you should have memorized.
I'll have cards
Dr.
ready
Stone.
for all of them.
Yes, okay.
Paula, what's the assurance argument?
The Higher Learning Commission, who is our accreditor, they accredit something like 19 states in the central part of the United States. They give us 5 criteria with innumerable sub-criteria that we have to say that we meet these standards. And the criteria are basically the standards that they expect all quality institutions of higher education to meet. We are asked to write an argument to assure them, hence the name assurance argument, that we are meeting those criteria and that we are doing the things that we should be doing to achieve that level of quality.
And Lisa, how's the work going?
Well, it's going great. This has been going over a period of several years. But at this point, we have a good draft of the assurance argument. We've got a lot of evidence to support what we're saying. We've got it. We've sent the draft to our mock reviewers, and they have indicated that they think it looks good, that there's no red flags in it. And we actually are having it kind of polished. It's a little bit too long. There's a 25,000 word limit. 35,000 word limit. And it's...
How many words is it now?
37 something. So we're about 2,000 words over.
That's not too bad.
That's not bad.
That's
Yeah.
not too bad.
We took it we were at one point at 46 or 47,000, and so we have...
You've done a lot of work to become more concise.
Yes, it's supposed to be kind of like a legal brief, just, very not flowery at all.
Direct.
And here's what we're saying, and here's the evidence.
What has surprised you about this process? Or, in the college, you both have had, as others that are really close to this process that is going on, have had the opportunity to see a lot of different things going on in the college, because as you see in the HLC requirements, it touches every square inch person, hair on our head, part of the college. So what has surprised you?
For me, it's maybe not as much surprise, but just being really proud of what TCC does. Our place in the community. I have learned so much that I did not know about the college and where we are and what we're doing, that it really makes me proud to be associated with TCC.
That's wonderful. Right.
And
what about you, Paula?
I agree with Lisa. The other thing that I've personally learned a lot is a lot more about the finances than I ever thought, because Lisa said, here, you can do that section. So I have spent a lot of time learning about where the money comes from and how hard it is to get and how we allocate it and how we tie it to our programs. And
it's really very interesting. our budgeting structure and our various revenue streams. I remember I was a political science major and I took a governmental budgeting class. It was required, of course. I mean, why would you take governmental budgeting if it wasn't required, right? But I found it surprisingly interesting. And so anyway, it is very interesting how public entities have to manage their money so differently than private.
Yes, and that has really been I knew some of it, but truly an eye-opener in how complicated some of it is.
Particularly when we collect a significant ad valorem from the county.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Lisa, you mentioned earlier about the mock visit, and we do have a mock visit coming in mid-April,
Yes.
sort of a practice visit to get ready for the actual visit at the end of September. How will the site visitors who come in September interact with employees, and what do employees need to know and to be ready for? Should they be asked to meet with some of the site visitors?
Yes, they will. There will be a schedule. We've got a mock schedule, which will be similar to what will happen, but there'll be some open meetings that all employees will be encouraged to attend, based mainly on the criteria. For example, criterion 3 and 4, we definitely would want a lot of faculty to attend those, as well as anyone else who's doing assessment. So it's going to kind of depend on the criteria. The visitors may ask for specific groups, like the mock visitors have asked to meet with the assessment committee and, some other specific groups, of course, with the cabinet and with the board and groups like that. But I think the main thing for everyone to know is that they're going to be visiting us, that when it's going to happen, and that they're here to verify what we have said in our argument. And we've got a great argument. They're peers just like we are, and I think we're going to be proud of our college, and that it's important that we're accredited, because if we're not accredited, then our students can't get financial aid, and our classes may not be able to transfer. So it's important that we're accredited. They're going to come here. They're going to be here. Everyone's going to be invited to attend things. It's all open. Not all the meetings are open, but it's all supposed to be transparent.
Transparent. Very high stakes. It's very high
Yes.
stakes for the college.
And we'll post the argument on the website probably next month. I would say the mid to the end of the month. As soon as we have a polished copy, we'll post a draft so that anybody will be able to read it. That's part of what's expected from HLC, is that we say, we show that what we've said, as Lisa said, everything is transparent.
And we want people to read it. So
And give some feedback.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Early on.
The earlier the better.
The earlier the better. Well, I'm Leigh Goodson here with my co-host, Greg Stone, and you're listening to the Big Blue Podcast. Our guests today are Paula Setton and Lisa Gerow, and we've been talking about TCC's upcoming HLC accreditation site visit. So talk to us a little bit about what are the next steps going forward as the assurance argument is prepared for submission this summer. You talked about posting it on the web. You're going to get it polished. What are the next steps as you're preparing that? What are the other things that we'll be doing that have to do with the HLC visit coming up in September?
One of the big things that we're doing is trying to make sure people know that it's happening. Lisa and I have spoken to several groups. We'll be speaking to several more groups. If you read the week carefully, you'll see in the articles we try to refer back to HLC criteria in different articles so that you see that the work that we do every day, we don't just do it because of accreditation, that it's all tied together, and that the work we're doing speaks to those accreditation standards. And everything that we do ties back to our mission. And so we're trying to educate people in sort of that way that's not so overt, but we're also really going out and talking about it to people and making sure that they know it. So that will continue. We'll post a draft. The other work that will be behind the scenes that those out there won't be seeing is HLC has a repository that we have to upload all this information into. And so once we have a good draft, we have to get all the evidence transferred into this repository. And then we have to link that the draft itself has what looks like hyperlinks in it, and we link those. We make hyperlinks to that actual evidence in this repository that the reviewers will review. So that's what we'll spend our summer doing. But the rest of the group,
So does the argument itself, the assurance argument, does the evidence sit in the assurance argument, or does it sit behind those links?
it sits behind those links in that repository.
Okay.
What we will have out on the website will just be the argument itself without
Okay.
direct links to all of this other stuff. But when we move it into the repository for HLC, for the reviewers, we will have the actual evidence attached to
So
it.
it's the argument that can be 35,000
Correct.
words.
Right.
But then you have appendices that are either hyperlinked, or if you have a paper copy, it's an appendix in the back or something like that.
It's a
that
PDF
that is
file.
it's a PDF file. That's the
Everything is
evidence
hyperlinked.
And we
Okay.
have hundreds of,
of pieces of evidence.
Yes.
Right,
And
hundreds.
This is a very new. This is our first time going through, but this is people who have been through this before in previous years might remember that we would have to build a resource room, and all of that evidence would have to be in hard copy form in file cabinets. But this is an electronic, much more streamlined, efficient way, so that a 3-day site visit becomes about a 1.5-day site visit, because they can see all that material in advance.
And they have
Right.
that. Yeah, I was going to ask that. They have that in advance.
Right.
about
Yes.
30 days in advance.
Much
they
more
have it.
efficient.
We have to have it everything uploaded by August. So in August, and then once we get it all loaded, we lock it so that we can't get back into it.
Interesting.
They require that of us.
Interesting. Okay.
And our mock reviewers have not gotten the evidence. So when they read our review, they asked for 6 things specifically that they wanted to see before the visit that we sent them.
I see.
So,
What a great investment for us to bring the mock reviewers in.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Puts our mind at ease.
Just in the minute or two we have remaining, and you both kind of touched on this a little bit, but is there anything, one specific thing that you would each want all employees to know or to be able to comment on to site reviewers, or what's the one walk away or takeaway you'd like people to have?
I think that I would like for all of the TCC employees to know that we're prepared for this, and our argument is good, and we have a little bit of work on assessment that we need to be doing, but in general, I mean, I think we should be proud, really proud.
Paula, what about you?
I would have mentioned that Lisa is a reviewer for HLC, so for her to say that, it's really comes from a place of experience. One of the things I would like the people to take away is I'd like them to see that the work they've done and how it ties back to the assurance argument. But I'd also like them to realize that these peer reviewers want us to be successful. I know Lisa and the other peer reviewers who work here at TCC, like Dr. David and Dr. Sivadan and Dr. Ivy, all when they go out to these visits, they really want people to be successful. And so they shouldn't think that these reviewers are here trying to catch us at anything. They're really here to show that we really are doing what we say we're doing.
Right.
And that's what I want, is people to realize that they're on our side.
They are on our
Yeah.
side. They are. Well, thank you. You've been listening to the Big Blue Podcast today. We want to thank our guests, Paula Setton and Lisa Gerow. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Repeat guests for spending some time with us today. And we want to thank you for listening. Remember, you can watch the Big Blue Podcast each week in the week at TCC and on the Creativity channel at YouTube. Thank you, Greg Stone.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great afternoon.
See you next time.
Thank you.